Welcome to the ride with Wild Wayne Cartwright, an exciting thrill ride through the wonderful world of HBCU athletics. Before our trip begins, let's set a few ground rules. First, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Second, hit the like button. Third, please be sure to tell someone else about this show. Now that we've got these things out of the way, it's time for our journey to begin. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your ride.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on? How are you?
Man, we are doing well. Doing well. I wanted to come back and do a show tonight. And I said, who better than my girl Tache to join me tonight for some very special things to talk about. And we gonna really get into it. I'm gonna let you be free, be yourself.
Absolutely.
You can say whatever you want to say that's on your chest, that's been on your chest. You know what I'm saying? We gonna talk about some things tonight.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. So everybody that's tapping in, hey, this the ride with Wild Wayne Cartwright. You know, we here with special guest Tache Woods. Hey, if you're hanging out, make sure that make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button, man. Make sure you participate. Say whatever it is you want to say also, because we're going to have a good time in this Tuesday night lounge. All right. So the first thing I want to start with, all right, let's just go right to it. Okay. Let's just go right to it. Saturday, October the 4th. This game was originally scheduled for Mississippi. And now it has been moved to your hometown, the ATL. Talk about it.
Yes. So when the news came out, because of course, originally, like you said, we're going to Valley, we're going to Itabena. And, love Valley, but I wasn't going to Itabena. I was not going to Itabena. So I'm not sure how this even came about, or who inspired this, or who, I don't know, but I think it was a good idea, and this is why. So I went to the basketball tournament this year, and it was in Atlanta. Valley showed up. People are talking about, oh, I don't think Valley's going to be there. Valley was in Atlanta. Like, they were in Atlanta heavy at that basketball tournament. All schools were represented well, but I was pleasantly surprised at how well Valley showed up in Atlanta. So I think that they will show up again, of course, for this game. It's going to be, somebody on Twitter said something about the rematch between Lennox and Lennox Lewis. Was we better be Lennox, like Lennox was Lennox in that rematch, okay? But I think Valley's gonna show up well, and then also too, because this is just the Black Hub, I think that a lot of HBCUs, if it is advertised well, will show up. And then of course FAMU, because this is FAMU North, Tallahassee North, I know that it will be a nicely attended game. So I'm excited about this because it's also the day after our Founders Day. Our Founders Day is October 3rd, 1887. So it's gonna be a lit weekend in the A. I'm looking forward to this.
Man, you know what? It's funny. Will Wallace, shout out to you, man. This dude, this dude, JSU all the way. He talking about Valley by 3. But then he said 7K in attendance.
I wouldn't expect anything less from somebody that attended Jackson State. So hey, you know what I mean? That math is not their strong suit. Let's not even get into Mr. Wallace. And he knows exactly. He knows exactly, okay?
It's kind of funny because, like, when I saw this, I was like, I'll be candid. I was like, man, Valley, like y'all got new turf, y'all got a new scoreboard, y'all got a new head coach. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all, this might have been one of the, well, like you said, you wasn't going to Itabena. I don't know how many other folks, other Rattler fans would have been coming to there on
I've
the
done
Delta.
Itabena. That's it. I've done it once.
I've been there a couple times, and needless to say, I wasn't looking forward to staying.
Right.
Wasn't looking forward to staying. Shout out to Valley. Shout out to Valley.
I love Valley. I love Valley. I have nothing against Valley. But the mosquitoes in Valley, I left out with big old knots on my legs. Oh my God. And then you got to drive 3 hours just to stay somewhere decent. I can't. So shout out to Valley though. Love Valley. We love Valley. Shout out to Valley.
Yeah, so with this game, I know you had shout out to your AD, Angela Suggs. I had her on my show before. I saw that she had, nice things to say. She talked about the game. I know y'all mad because this was Valley's only win last year.
Listen.
So I know y'all trying to get that lick back in a strong way.
And they broke our home streak.
Yeah.
They broke that home streak. Okay. So we definitely want our lick back. I ain't gonna lie though. I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret that I ain't never told nobody else. I'm glad it was Valley and had it been any other school in the SWAC, one that I won't even name, but you know which one it is. I think I would have been still sick to this day. But Valley had angels in the outfield that day. The young man had just passed away, and they were playing for, So I was like, I was upset, but I couldn't even really be because it's Valley. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
everybody's rooting for Valley low key. So, Valley, it is what it is. But
and
I'm excited.
What's real crazy was, so Valley snapped y'all streak, and then y'all turned around, started a new streak against my team.
I know. I'm like, man, oh my gosh, it was so crazy. It was so crazy. It just, let me tell you something. The players that they cried. They cried. It was a rough day that day. That's all I can say. I couldn't believe it. I remember just kind of sitting there like, did we just lose the Valley? Like, how do you go from being the champ to losing to Valley? It was a crazy, 24 was a crazy year, but if I'm Valley, I'm going to play this game here at the Mercedes-Benz too, because when the next time Valley don't get to it?
Yeah. When will they ever get there? They listen, they ain't won the SWAC since 19. They ain't won the SWAC at all since 1960, like 1969, I think it was. Yeah. They ain't even win when they had Jerry Rice in them.
I'm going to the Benz. Because when and I'm gonna tell you, I'm a teacher here in Atlanta. I have a former student of mine. He's going to Mississippi Valley actually. He starts in the fall. Well, I think he's already there. So I think that this will also be good publicity for Valley to get some players, because those kids in high school, they want to play in the Benz. You know what I'm saying? That's where they play at for their state games, and so that's what it's all about. See you in the Benz. So this is going to be good for the SWAC period, and definitely for Valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. Will in full effect. He on you. He said the Battle of the Ugly Greens.
He's so in love with it. Don't worry, I'm gonna send you a shirt to Texas. He's so in love with us. He's just enamored. His phone is full of orange and green. He loves us so much. Will, this is for you. He loves us.
Hey. And speaking of Will, so I got some, we got something on the next slide about them, but I'll finish this point right here. I hope that there's a really, really nice crowd for this. I really do.
It will.
I hope that, that folks come out. I hope that it's not
I think it will be. I really do. I really feel that it will be. I
Yeah.
will. And speaking of will, if we do only bring 7K people, it'll be 6,999 more people than they brought to the last OBC that we went to. Okay, we can move on. I'm done.
All right.
I'm done. I'm done.
Oh man, she in full effect tonight, man. We just getting started. We only 10 minutes in, already in full effect. All right. Hey, here goes something that was just announced today. The next one. All right. Out there in Vegas, we know this game was going down for a minute, but they announced that it's going to be on HBCU Go.
Yeah.
And it's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And what was already a very loaded calendar, I'll show that also here in a second also, but 6 p.m. Eastern on HBCU Go. What do you think about this on HBCU Go?
So I'm not gonna lie. Their production last year was they did pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Like I even for some I'm not gonna talk about the schools, but for some schools that have some, including my own, I will talk about my own because it is what it is. But some of the production is not as great. I'm not mad at this, and ESPN is gonna give us like ESPN, the Spanish ESPN, whatever, for us to watch when we. So I wasn't mad about this. And like I said, the production has been pretty good when I watched it. I'm just curious to see.
Go ahead on, talk about it. Talk about it.
How many turnovers will Jackson have this game? Will they try to outdo themselves? And will it be 6 this time? Because how many was it last time? 5?
It was 5 last year.
So I think they're going to try to outdo themselves. I think it'll be 6 or 7 this time. And I think Gremlin wins by 47.
Oh. Hey, this said, going back to this, he said, what network will air the FAMU versus Valley rivalry?
There's no such thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's funny with this. What it's going to air on? I think it might end up being on ESPN Plus because they didn't say anything different.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. But there's no rivalry.
Yeah, and he said HBCU Go is better than ESPN Plus. Now this. That statement there, Mr. Will, I agree with that.
That's what I said. Their production has been pretty good.
Their production is really good. And I've had a couple of their sideline analysts. I've had them on my show on From the Hill podcast too. We've had them on. They're really, really nice. They just love to be on campus. They love to be active. I just wish for HBCU Go, I just wish that it was more accessible, on more platforms.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if you have DirecTV, you can get it on the Griot.
Yeah.
But if you don't, but that's about it. Like you don't get it on YouTube TV. Like I have, a lot of us, we have to get it from the app. It's just different. Yeah. I just wish that this game, for how like prestigious the venue is, I just wish that it would be like more accessible for everybody. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a way, I wonder, that they can, because like SWAC Digital Network, of course, goes through YouTube TV. I wonder or on YouTube. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way that there some type of collaboration can happen so that we can, because like if I use my Xfinity stream, I can get Griot through, get HBCU Go on Griot. But it is outside of that, it's kind of hard to access it. But if there's a way that they could collaborate, that might be pretty good because we could get it on YouTube. I mean, I don't know, but I'm glad that it's not going to be on ESPN, the little Spanish ESPN or whatever they be trying to give us sometimes.
Yeah, I like HBCU Go's production too. I like their, the fact that their commentators and all their staff is on site. It's always on site. It's nobody calling the game remotely like sometimes you might get on ESPN Plus. You know what I'm saying?
And it's authentic.
It's authentic. And you can tell they really want to be there. They really want to be into it.
And they know the teams. They don't be like, these two great teams, and it's no shade, it's like Valley and UAPB, and they're like, these two really great defensive, and we're like, you don't know nothing about this conference. That's clear.
Yeah. Nah, look, he said JSU will bring all the fans. Nah, are y'all sure about that? I don't know, Graham.
I don't think so.
Graham, this being in Vegas, I don't know, man. Folk done had almost a year to save up their coins to get out there.
I tell you what, if they bring a lot of fans to Vegas, they won't go nowhere else. They got the income tax check is only gonna pay for one trip, and that's all they got. So if they go to Vegas, they don't it'll be the Airbnb, also known as Veterans Memorial, and Vegas, and that's all they got all year. Okay.
Hey, look, I'd have been to Vegas at least about like 6-7 times. I used to live in LA. So it used to be just a short little 4-hour drive. When you go to Vegas, most of us, you be there 48 hours. You done gambled, you done ate something good. It's like, all right, it's time to get back on the road, go home.
Yeah.
Like, don't let these folk get you suckered into attending some seminars on time stairs and
right. I did 48 hours in Vegas too last I went. I was there for Usher's residency. I was in and out.
Right.
In and out.
Right, man. Hit you some slots. Hit you a good buffet. Maybe catch you a show.
Yes.
Other than that, get in there, watch the game, get your flight Sunday morning, and get on.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I'm looking forward to this. But like I said, this is a very loaded calendar. So this is what it is. This is in week 9. Look at what we got here on week 9, man. I mean, forget, Prairie View's breather on homecoming against Lincoln. That's like the Washington Generals. But you look at the games on the right side where y'all going to Baton Rouge. We got the Magic City Classic. I mean, man. And that game with y'all going down there to Southern, that game is going to be a night game. So that game going to be on at the same time as the one that's in Vegas.
It is. And both bands are going. Our band will be there. So both bands will be in attendance for this game. It's going to be crazy.
I mean, this is for an HBCU football fan. This is the day of the year.
Yeah, it is.
For football.
What time is y'all's game?
Our game is at 3:00 Eastern or 3:30 Eastern. So we'll be on before you guys are. We'll probably be in the fourth quarter when y'all and the Grambling game kicks off.
Yeah,
so,
how
but
do you watch that? You need 2 TVs.
Yeah, you do. Because it's like, I know y'all game against Southern will probably be on ESPN Plus, which it has been on ESPNU before. Our game in the Classic has been on ESPNU the last 2 years. So it's kind of, we'll see how it goes. But this is a loaded calendar, man. Everybody ought to be thankful for this.
Yeah, it's a crazy day.
Look at him. He trying to give it to you. He said, "Can FAMU travel to more than one game out of state this year, though?"
Who is it? I know it's JSU. I know it is. I'm not even gonna ask. They love us so. They're so obsessed. They're so obsessed. They love us so much. It's ridiculous. Worry about saving them income tax coins until October, okay? Get the JSU.
Yeah, Jay White, I hear you, man. So better watch the later games in the hotel in Birmingham.
Yeah,
definitely better do that, man. Them boys, y'all trying to give it. They trying to give it to you, Tache. He said, "Fam, you ain't never even traveled in the."
And he would know. He would know all the way in another conference. Once again, it's Lord Jesus. They love us.
He's going for it. He said they've never led the nation in attendance. Well, hey, to y'all credit though, it's kind of hard to lead the nation in attendance when y'all stadium is smaller than theirs. I was just
about to say our stadium holds 19,000 people. We're not going to hold the attendance. Maybe if what's the school? Maybe if Florida State gave us their old, stadium, then maybe we can hold some more people like you guys do. Or if there was nothing else to do on a Saturday in Jackson, or if we gave away tickets to everybody under 18 like y'all do, we would hold the nation's leading attendance record too. The attendance kings, baby, they are. Who cares about winning? Just make sure we win in attendance. Nobody cares about football, baseball. Where are you in attendance? That's all they care about. Attendance kings.
He said.
No, it doesn't. It holds 19,000 people, and it doesn't average 12K. These people are crazy. Lord, that's all they care about. That is all they care about. Lord, I've never seen some people so obsessed with attendance in my life.
Hey, you know what though?
Perennial losers.
But you know what though? It's like with attendance though, it is true though. That is one of the things that we always look at, and like I said, with this game, people are gonna be looking to see if it's, how many people are gonna be there. With this game, people are gonna see and gonna look to see how many people are there. And then like I said, with the classic. Yeah, and with the Magic City Classic, they like to talk about how many people showed up every single year. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this, okay? Attendance, no matter what. I just want to see people show up to all these games, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got three of the best games on the HBCU calendar in the same week, on the same day.
On the same day. Mm-hmm.
Same day. I want to see everybody show up, man, and really be in there and be in full force. Because depending on how things work with, obviously we know there's a lot of football that has to be played that precedes this, because this is week 9 on the calendar. But depending on, where these games are in the calendar, I mean, all these could have championship or division implications.
Absolutely.
To a degree. Whether, I mean, even though I know 2 of these games are crossovers, but still, crossover games, they count unless otherwise noted.
Right.
Don't even get me started on that.
Let's not. Let's not and say we did.
Man, oh man. But this is a big day, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna definitely be checking it out. I'm gonna be checking all this out.
Check the attendance champs out. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so Tache, now that we've been talking about football, okay, now let's transition over now. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with administrations in HBCU. Okay. I'm gonna let you just take a swing right here with this one. I'm gonna just let you get on your soapbox. You say whatever you want. Everybody that's tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. Everybody participate here, man. Say what you want, like y'all do. The comments, they'll get up on the screen. Man, have at it. Give the people your feelings, Tache.
Everything about this was just disappointing. The wig, the Adam's apple, the contacts, the appointment, everything was just disappointing. And more than Marva Johnson, because she's not one of us, I'm not even going to get on my soapbox about her because she is who she is. Who I would like to get on my soapbox about is the 8 members of the board of trustees that voted for her to be president of our institution with no prior experience in higher ed, with no prior experience in education, period. And not only did you vote for her to be president of our institution, to lead our institution in such a critical, place that we're in, you also voted to raise the salary cap to $750,000. Okay, this does not include the perks. Recently, I think yesterday, an article was released showing the employment agreement. And one thing that stood out to me most was that she asked for armed security 24/7.
Wow.
At her home.
Wow.
At her office. And we're not talking about FAMU PD. She wants a personal escort detail, like police detail.
Wow.
Security detail. If you need a militia to protect you at the place where you will sleep and work, why do you want to work there?
Yeah.
Why are you so pressed to work where nobody wants you? Nobody wants you there. Obviously, she's on a mission. She's been given a task, and she has to fulfill that task for whatever reason. But I'm very disappointed in our board. And let me say this, a lot of people have said, oh, they're rattlers, and this is true. Two of them, I give credit for being real rattlers. They had the undergrad experience. A lot of them went and got post degrees, graduate degrees that they got from FAMU. Many of them in their undergraduate attended PWIs. No shade, I got my graduate degree from a PWI. But there's a different experience and a different love that you garner when you attend a school. You lived on campus, you got your undergraduate degree, you earned your stripes. You love that institution. Those of us that matriculated through our institutions in undergrad, we love our institution. It's a real thing, okay? This right here broke so many of our hearts because we love FAMU. And let me say this for those that want to make this political and say we have an issue with Republicans. Know this. There is a difference in Republican and MAGA. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's a major difference. This woman is not just Republican, she's MAGA. That means she's anti-DEI. That means she's this is what we're dealing with. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in a state where Ron DeSantis, who is our governor, is anti-woke and is trying to repeal all things DEI, all types of legislation, critical race theory. This is what we're up against, and this is what she agrees with, and this is who could be leading our institution. So to cap it all off, I just want to say I have no words for Marva Johnson. She is doing the work of those that sent her, and it's not the Lord. I am disgusted with the 8 board members entrusted with the betterment of my institution that voted for her with no experience, threw her in the mix when she was not even a part of the original candidates. That's who I'm disgusted with. And that's who I think should continue to live on in infamy for their betrayal and for their treason against Florida A&M University.
Wow. Man, I gotta say, this was really, really hard when I was in North Carolina. I was actually getting ready to do the first day. Because you guys know I officiate track and field. I was down there at Wake Forest getting ready to do the first day of the ACC outdoor. And I saw this come across the timeline, and the guy that I roomed with, who also wasn't, who was officiating, he graduated from FAMU. Okay. He graduated from there in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. And he immediately was just like, he said, I don't know what the hell just happened. He said, this is just the ultimate sign of betrayal. That's all he could really say. Yep.
That's what that was.
He said that was betrayal. He said I don't know who this woman is. He said, I don't know what the heck is going on. He said, our people, he said, we ain't gonna stand for this. That's what he said. He said, we ain't gonna stand for this. He said, we gonna do what we gotta do to make this thing be difficult on this woman. He said, but he also talked about the board too. He said, we gonna do what we gotta do to be difficult on them jokers too. Absolutely. And I seen the passion and the pain in his face. Yes. He said that, a lot of us, he said a lot of people, they donate money, they donate time, they donate a lot of efforts to try to make that university, what it is. And said that this is just the ultimate backstab. And I definitely feel for y'all.
Yeah, for the BOT to hand our institution over to a person with this ideology when we have been fighting, to not get into a whole history lesson, but we lost our law school to Florida State. Okay. So
Yep.
in the late 60s, we lost our law school to Florida State. Every single school, professional school that we have, there is a white institution that wants it. Okay. The law school is in Orlando. We finally got our law school back in the 2000s. It's in Orlando, prime location. There can only be one professional school in a city. UCF wants our law school. Okay. The School of Pharmacy, Florida State wants our pharmacy school. Florida State wants our nursing school. They want all of these things. They have been trying forever. Our engineering school was merged with Florida State. Okay, so it is the FAMU FSU School of Engineering. They want these schools. We have been fighting tooth and nail to keep our schools to us. And now we are in jeopardy because Florida State is trying to secure a deal to purchase one of the hospitals in Tallahassee, and to garner the School of Nursing would make the deal. It's a whole very layered and complex, but basically they want that School of Nursing in order to compile onto that deal. So they'll have basically the hospital, and then that perfect leeway into nursing with the School of Nursing, because they don't have one. These are battles that we are fighting every single year, year after year. We're fighting because they don't feel that we need two state schools in the same city. And what pisses me off is the fact that the only reason FAMU is here because you didn't want us in your schools in the first place.
That's
And
right.
now that we put our school, picked ourselves up by our bootstraps, and we put our school on the map, and we worked hard, and we did everything. Now you want to take it back. We wouldn't even been here if you would have let us go in the first place. You see what I'm saying? That's what
Yep.
pisses me off the most. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. And he also he wanted to make sure you knew that he was a Texas Southern grad. But he said public HBCU alumni do not control our schools 100%, especially Black Democrats in the South. Maybe if the state goes in Democratic control, but until then, no.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No
Yep.
public schools do.
Right.
No public schools do.
Right. What up, Is? Good to see you, my boy. He said that board of trustees vote was something out of this world. Yeah, it was. But what he said,
8-4.
yeah, but he said, did she say the wig, the Adam's apple? She sure did.
Absolutely. All of it. Disappointing. All of it. The wig
And look,
choice.
and
The
look,
Adam's
man,
apple.
Will said, fam, you hired Joanna, man.
Now I don't usually agree with Will, but Will, you might have a point right there. You might have a point right there.
Oh man.
And she's my soror. That's the most disgusting part.
Right. He said Maga Marva looked like Venom with a wig. Yep. Man.
All of that.
Oh man.
All of that. She looks horrible.
That's wild. Yeah. So I just wanted to get your take on that. So now, all right, still staying on this train here. Something that just released today.
I saw that.
Yeah. All right. So when I saw Tony Busby, I was like, oh man. Now, for those of y'all that don't know, Tony Busby, when you see that name, Tony Busby was affiliated with the Deshaun Watson situation.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, me being a Clevelander, yeah, trust me, I've heard Tony Busby's name a lot in Cleveland because of that stuff that Deshaun Watson. So, man, oh man,
it's not good. It's not looking good.
Have at it. Say, go ahead, talk about it.
I don't understand why we can't separate the two. You know what I'm saying? Why are we bringing it with all the people in the world? Why is it that you have to bring that into your job where you work at?
Right.
Why? I don't understand. That's the part I can't understand. I understand proximity and it appears easier, but why would you risk your livelihood, your reputation? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For this right here. And what I'm waiting to see is going to be the response. Will it be something that's hush hush? Because Texas Southern is rarely ever, I guess because we always in the news for something. Texas Southern doesn't appear to ever really be any mess. So I wonder how they're going to handle this. Is it going to be something, silent, or will they try to settle it away? I don't know. I just don't understand why they keep risking their livelihood and their reputation. So what I did not find out, was it a woman or a man?
Mm-hmm.
It's the way you sat up
Because you never know these days. That's why. Hey, you never know.
Woo! Woo!
I know, right? I know. Hey.
Ooh, you just don't know. You can't make any assumptions these days. None.
No. But yeah, this situation. Also, shout out to my boy Kyle Mosley, been on my show before too. HBCU legends, doing big things. Man, this right here, I mean, when this came out earlier in the morning, the first thing I said is, man, not again.
It's ridiculous.
Not again. Because with this one and also the next one I'm going to show, because there's one more that I'm going to show. In fact, let's just show the next one. This one. Yeah. So with this one and the one before that, both of them, they go together in similar nature. And the reason why I say they go together in similar nature is, listen, you can have whatever lifestyle you choose to have. Whatever. If you wanna be, with a bunch of women, you want to be with, same sex, whatever. You do whatever you do you. But one thing you got to understand is when you are representing an organization, an institution, there is a standard that you must uphold. Absolutely. And one of the very first standards that you must uphold is to never bring any bad news to that institution.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell when it said abruptly resigned, know.
Yeah.
They got you dead
truth to it. Yeah, absolutely.
They got you dead to rights on whatever it was.
Yep.
And it's just the mere fact that it's so difficult to even ascend to these type of positions. For many of these people, this is a dream job.
Yep.
It's a lifetime of work that you put in. You put in a lot of work in education. You put in a lot of work in, you built your way up. A lot of times when you get to a level like that, this is a destination job.
Yeah.
And for him and Mr. Granger and others that have come along this road leading up till now, for this type of stuff to continue to happen is just unacceptable for us.
It is.
It's unacceptable for us because I've said many times, there are things that go on at PWIs every single day.
Yeah.
The thing about most of these PWIs is that they have a way of getting that stuff to get up under the rug and stay there.
Yeah.
Or they have a way to get the story to go from the front page to the back page to no page.
Yes.
As HBCUs, we don't have that luxury.
Yep.
Folks are always out to try to get us at every single turn. You just said that Florida State, UCF, they've been out to try to take over portions of your school, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of this stuff, these are business transactions to a lot of this media.
Absolutely.
It is an opportunity for folks to just try to get in and try and do what they need to do to take something over.
Absolutely. And it's two things that I want to say regarding that. First of all, once again, I think Jackson State's board is what, the IHL? It's the Mississippi period. Once again, these governing boards that do not know what is best for our institutions, that are placing, he was placed there by the IHL. Jackson State alums or constituents did not vote this man in. They didn't bring him in. IHL put him in there. This is their raggedy pick. Okay, that don't know what to do and what not to do, that does not carry the burden of that institution on his back and in his heart. So that's their raggedy pick. Once again, these governing bodies that don't know what's best for our institution, that are placing these people in here, that are tearing down the reputation and the integrity of our institution. And second of all, HBCUs, for the love of God, if you don't do anything else, invest in a crisis PR team. Every time some mess happens, we're stuck like deers in headlights, caught in the headlight, because we do not have crisis management teams that are ready to spin a story, do whatever has to be done. All the big institutions, all entities have this. We are always struggling. 3 days later, our institutions are coming out with a statement. We are behind. Please, for the love of God, get a crisis and PR team that is ready to do what needs to be done, because things will happen, especially keep having these governing bodies that are placing people that don't carry the burden of our institution with them.
That's right. And and Jerome, you said it. It sucks when your alumni have no say in who's your president. And that is something that I feel for you guys for real. Because that is never going to be good until something can change there, if it can ever change. But there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of things that can change with with the right kind of push and the right kind of influence, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a village to be able to make something like that happen. But this type of stuff here, man, I'm just outdone by this. And then when I saw this today, I was just like, I really didn't even have a reaction to it, because when I just saw it, I was just like, man, I said, this is another thing.
Here go another one. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's sad.
Yeah. And my wife, she had brought up, now this is something that's not pictured, but my wife, she had told me this evening, she said that there was something happening in Hampton also.
Yes.
With a top administrator.
Yes.
Yep.
And a
young man who exchanged a sexual act.
Yes.
For a higher grade.
Yes.
And that higher grade
did not come through on the grade.
Exactly. And now he's like, well, I'm getting ready to expose you.
Not getting ready. He did drop the receipts.
Yeah.
And all.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. He said, I'm gonna get ready to expose. He's already exposed them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's this stuff just continues to go on
Disgusting.
and on and on. Now I know that we get to be rivals, on sports fields and all in competition. But one thing that you can make for doggone sure, we all agree on this matter.
Absolutely.
We got to be better. We got to button it up, man. And we gotta hold these folks accountable. Because one thing for me, now I graduated from A&M in 2000. And one thing that we had when I was at A&M, at Alabama A&M, sorry, gotta make that plain, because we both went through an A&M here.
Right. Okay.
When I graduated from Alabama A&M, our president at the time, President Gibson, he was a crook. I'm just saying for what it was. He was a crook. He was a crook. And we had protesting going on campus. Wanted him to resign. So when I graduated, I walked across stage. I seen him from a distance, and I said, "There is no chance I'm looking this man in his eye."
Yep.
The cameraman was located right behind him. And I have my picture as I'm getting my diploma. You'll see it on my Facebook. But one thing I did, I just looked right at the cameraman. Got my diploma. I shook his hand. I did not want to shake his hand, but I did not look him in the eye, because I said, I'm not looking a crook in the eye. And we got crooks. We got people who don't have the best intentions of our of our universities. We got people in all these different high positions, man. And the stuff needs to just stop. It needs to stop. And everybody out there that's got a voice, everybody that's got some type of influence, it's time to start exercising a lot of influence, because we got people that's in positions that don't deserve to be there. People just occupying time and occupying money, making all these bad decisions. It's time to move some of these folks on, man, for real. So let's see. Yeah, he said some of our schools have corrupt. Yeah, just like I said, y'all keep talking about underfunding. No, it's the leadership. Yep, it goes in. It goes all. It goes. It goes both ways.
Yeah, it's both.
It goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, John T. Gibson. You're right, John T. Gibson.
Castile Bryant at our school at my time, she had to go. She was Castile Bryant stealing misappropriating all the funds.
All the money.
We've all had them at all of our institutions. It's ridiculous.
It is
ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It is. It just needs to quit. It needs to quit. So, I don't know. I digress on that. So let's go back to more fun stuff, okay?
Yeah. Get off of that, because let's
go back to more fun stuff. All right. So what I have for everybody, I'm gonna bring this up for you, Miss Tache Woods. I'm gonna bring up FAMU's football schedule. All right. Now, for all the folks that are out there, I'm gonna bring up some schedules, and we're gonna talk about some of this football here. Now, let me just say this now, okay? Everybody that's out here, we know how you feel about your about your team. We know how you feel about your players. We know some of y'all, you just know that your team can never do wrong in your eyes. At least you will never say it publicly.
Right.
We know. You be in the house mad as hell when y'all losing. Ready to throw remotes, ready to kick stuff. But listen, this is a brand new year that's on the horizon. We got SWAC Media Day coming. I'm excited. I'm going to be down there. It's going to be great. But here's your schedule. Now, y'all get things started down there in Miami.
Yeah.
With Howard, your old rival, somebody you just had an acquaintance with a couple years ago down there in Atlanta. Now you get to kick off a new season. You got a new quarterback. You got new personnel. Yeah. New quarterback, new personnel. You got it all happening. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about your team this year? I'm not asking you. Well, you can say whatever you want to say about your team this year. What you think so far?
So as far as the personnel, I don't know. I don't know a lot of them. So I know them. I've gotten to know them. I don't know what they'll do with the team, right? So I know them in their previous roles. I've met them, of course. But I don't know what I would be a fool to get on here and be like, yeah, we're going to. Now, our O-line coach, he came from North Carolina Central. He was good there. What he'll do at FAM, I don't know. I'm going to be honest about that. I like what he's doing. A lot of our personnel is pretty much new. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about, we have a new OC, we have a new DC, we have a new wide receivers coach, we have a new strength and conditioning coach, we have a new linebackers coach. We have pretty much a whole new staff. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them not even like new positions. They were, something else. No, we're talking about brand new. So I'm going to be honest and say, I'm not sure, exactly what they'll do, but I believe that, from our spring game, I'll say this, I was much more confident than I was last year. Last year's spring game, I remember just kind of sitting there like, wow, yeah, this is going to be an interesting season. But this year, I'm much more confident. I think the only question mark, in my opinion, honestly, is on the quarterback position. Just because, not that we have plenty of quarterbacks. Who's going to win the spot? Is the biggest question mark for me. Our defense was playing lights out. I think we fixed up that. What did She Loves D call us? She said we was toilet tissue soft in the middle. I think we plugged that up. Hopefully, I don't know. I know our running backs coach. He's from Miami. I'm familiar. I met him, and I think that he'll do a great job. So hopefully, we'll get our first rushing TD before Game 6, unlike last year. Uh, so I think I want to give the biggest kudos to my head coach, and this is just not because of the relationship or whatever, but I really have seen Cozy step up into his role and really take onus of his team. I think last year he was kind of thrusted in last minute. Things were happening. We're not gonna go back on what happened last year, but I think it was a lot for him at one time. But I really see him owning his team this year. He put the people in place and personnel wise, and just in athletes. He's taken a lot of steps and leaps and bounds in his leadership. And I really want to give my head coach, Cozy, you the man. I like what you've done. I like the recruiting. I like the way you've been moving. So I think we're going to be good. Are we talking about actual games? Are we getting into way, way, way too early predictions, or we just talking about the season in general?
Yes, whatever you want to say.
I'm gonna lead the predictions. Now I'm gonna say this. And this is you gonna like this, Wayne. You gonna like this. I have been saying since, and you can ask my Ashley, who does the show with me. I have been saying that the East is gonna see a new top 3 this year. Ooh. There's going to be a new. This is a hot take now. This is a hot take. This is a hot take. Ooh. And I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put it on wax. Two teams that you're familiar with, but I think that Alabama State and Alabama A&M switch out this year. That top 3. I don't know what it is about your coach. When the season was first starting off, or preseason, I was high on Tremaine Jackson. A lot of people were, and of course Sam Shade. But Sam Shade has edged out for me for a couple of reasons. And a lot of people are saying that thinking next year will be the year that you got. But for whatever reason, I just got a sneaky suspicion that this is gonna be the year that the top 3, and I don't know who's gonna be 1, 2, or 3. But I don't think we see the Jackson State, FAMU, Alabama State top 3 again this year. I think it switches this year, and I think we see a Jackson State, FAMU, and Alabama A&M top 3 over there in the East.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, looking at this schedule is pretty loaded. Especially, you start off with Howard, and then then y'all get paid. You get paid. You go down there to Boca Raton, you get paid.
Yeah.
And then you pay a little bit of money back to Albany State.
Yeah.
But then you get right down to it. You look at this schedule, man. I remember when I talked to Coach Trey Oliver of North Carolina Central at the Celebration Bowl. And he was excited to have you guys back on the calendar. Said that you guys, he's like, we're starting a home and home with FAMU.
Yeah.
So they come to you guys, and then you guys are gonna go to Durham next season.
Year.
But yeah, this is pretty dope. Looking at that you guys are playing them. I love that.
Yeah.
I love
that old MEAC. It's gonna be rocking and brag. Yeah, I love that. That's one of the games that's circled on my calendar. I'll definitely be there. Yeah, I'm excited, and I, fight me. We're gonna win. It is what it is.
Yeah. For me, I look at there are some games that I look here on this calendar, on this schedule that really immediately pops and gets my attention. Obviously the North Carolina Central game, being that it's non-conference, but you look at that 2-game stretch right there where you've got actually the 3 games, the whole 4-game stretch there. North Carolina Central, Alcorn for homecoming. And then you go down to Baton Rouge, and then you have Jackson State coming to brag. Now, that game at Southern, immediately gets my attention because y'all dominated game. Southern last year.
Yeah, but I'm scared of that
y'all
game.
killed them. That was the best. In fact, to me, that Southern game, that was the best game that y'all played all last year. It was complete. You played, you dominated them. You guys held them to less than 150 yards of total offense, and you forced a few turnovers. Yeah, it was 24 to 6.
Field goals, and that's it.
Yeah, 24 to 6. You dominated it. So I know that Southern has been wanting to get you guys for a hot minute.
I'm scared of that game. I'm telling you, that's the game that I am actually afraid of. We won the last 5 times we met, but I am just because we'll travel to Atlanta for Valley, we'll have North Carolina Central, which will be, of course, a battle. Then we'll have homecoming, which the kids are going to party it up.
Yep.
And then we got to go to Baton Rouge. I'm afraid of that game. I really am. I think we'll be okay, but I am really. Coach is gonna have to coach it up that for 4 weeks, like you said, because he has to keep more than anything. I think it's the mental thing. You got to keep them focused because you got homecoming the week before. They're going to Atlanta the week before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot. So I said the same thing. I'm really worried about that game. More than I'm worried about the one the following week. A lot of people are worried about that game just because of how, it's been a hard fought battle for us, but I'm really worried about Southern. I really am.
Yeah, and the thing that really stuck out to me too, it was like Southern ain't been able to beat y'all, and y'all ain't been able to beat Jackson State. So it's like back-to-back weeks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
we
saying?
got them once. Now give us our credit.
Well, okay, you did get them. You did get them the year. I tell you about. You did get them 2 years ago.
Yeah, we got them.
You did get them 2 years ago.
We got to get them again.
Exactly. You got to get them again. Now, last year, y'all let that game get away because
don't talk. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it, Wayne. I don't want to talk about it. I was there. I don't want to talk about it because we should have won that game. We should have won that game. And when we didn't win that game, we should have saw some personnel changes in our offensive coordinator that day. Okay? We did not see it until like about 2 games later, but still. We should have won that game. And everybody at Jackson, I know your comments about to be in shambles because they're going to say whatever they said, but I don't care. Y'all did not win it.
Paris already
I know.
already
this
saying
is what they do. This
Paris
is what they
said, Wayne, no, they didn't.
Yes, they didn't. Let me tell you something. I was there. 3 minutes and 34 seconds is when that game turned around because of stupidity on our OC. I don't want to hear nothing. We lost that game. Y'all didn't win it. Okay. We lost that game. Y'all didn't win it. Paris is a hater. Okay. She a straight up hater. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. She know what's up. I don't want to hear it. Period.
He said our defense guarded.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't. Y'all won. I give it to you. But what's up? They watched that game. Let me tell you something. Them people so scared over there by sitting by us, they didn't know what to do. They didn't make a peep until 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
Hey, look, man. Listen.
It is.
When I watched that game, because that game, I remember I did my Sunday recap the very next night, and I spent a lot of time just dissecting that game. A lot, because that game, it ebbed and flowed. It had emotions going both ways. And the way it was so crazy was, it was just like how Jackson State was just on this heater of not allowing anybody to score points in the second half.
Yeah.
And that was like, and it was like FAMU had every opportunity. And that defense just continued to step up.
And stepped up. Our players were begging the OC, telling them what they were seeing out there, telling them. And you for a team that cannot run the ball and have not had a rushing touchdown all season, you up by 1 point and you trying to run the ball already. They were begging this man. They were begging him, telling him what they were seeing. Jamari, the quarterback, Daniel, all of them. He running the ball for a team that can't run the ball. And we up by 1. I can't. And so hats off to TC and Teresa Quinn, especially. Terrenzo Quinn, I did not expect him to come in there and do what he did at Jackson because he had left from Alcorn. And I didn't expect him to be that man. I don't think any team scored on Jackson in the second half the whole season after Grambling, right? I think that was the stats.
Well,
you did. You did. Yes, you were the only team that did. Yes, but outside of that, shouts out to Terrenzo Quinn because they locked it down. They mastered those second half adjustments, and I our OC just dwindled, and he's now, thank God, the senior analyst at Florida International University. Willie, thank you for taking your boy. Okay, we appreciate you. Thank you for still doing us a solid, even in your absence, Willie.
Yeah. Well, we definitely gonna see what's up with your squad. Now, let me back it up now. Now while we talking about Jackson State, all right, Jackson State fans, we just gonna talk about y'all for a little bit. Okay. Now, Tache, now, really talk about it now. What do you think about these boys? Like for real?
No, I'm gonna always be unbiased. I'm gonna be unbiased. Honestly, I think that Jackson has 100% has the capacity to go and repeat with this schedule right here. I think that I think that Grambling game in Vegas because you just never know how either one of them, because that's going to be a long travel for them. And depending on when they're going to get there, hopefully, I don't know. But I think that with this schedule, they have the ability to go back and repeat. The Tuskegee game, I think, is going to be real lit. I don't have too much to say about it being. Let me ask you this. I know the last year, the Southern game, did the Southern game count for them this year?
It is a conference game. See, I have all the SWAC
I see it.
logos next to them. Yep.
Okay, I see it. So it is a conference game. Because let's keep it a buck now. Of course, your comments gonna be in shambles again, but I'm gonna tell the truth. If Southern does not hurt Jacoby and Morgan last year, Southern wins that SWAC championship game. It was not until Zion McDonald came in there at the end because they hurt Jacobian that they got a little push start and won that game. And I know your comments gonna be in shambles. Yeah, come find me. I'm at Tache Woods on everything. Okay, tell your mama I said it. I said what I said. But if they don't hurt Jacobian, they win that game. I believe it wholeheartedly. They couldn't do nothing with them.
No.
Of course she's gonna say that. Of course she's from the
look at Jay White trying to start something with y'all, man. He said they got an easy schedule. I was like,
I think that their schedule is just it's as tough as anybody's, honestly. They got Southern Miss, Hampton,
I'm excited about that though. I am. Yeah, I'm excited about Hampton playing them.
I don't think that'll be a big.
I just love the fact that that they're gonna make the trip down there to the vet. I like seeing those non-conference matchups. Like Hampton's in the CAA now, so I like that. Southern Miss, I know. Listen,
did Hampton replace that quarterback?
Yeah, they did. I know everybody gonna say a lot about repeating, and I know a lot of people just saying, look, they gonna just go ahead on and make a quick run and do things. Listen, I will say this, man, about pretty much everybody's schedule. Now I know I've got a whole lot of analysis ahead for everybody. I've got predictions, I've got interviews, I got all this stuff that's going to be coming in the next month plus. But what I can say about this and everybody else's schedule is every team has new personnel somewhere. Now, one thing that I do think that is very essential for Jackson State is the fact that you return your starting quarterback. If you can return your starting quarterback, that is essential. That gives you a leg up on mostly everybody.
And your coordinators.
Yeah, and you kept your coordinators. And see, that's the thing now. In this day and age, you can't really keep folks.
No.
You can't. You cannot keep anybody. I mean, the second somebody becomes like all SWAC, peace.
He's gone. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? A coach does a great thing. Like I just said yesterday with watching college baseball, Murray State upsetting Ole Miss. I was like, ain't no way Murray State keeping their coach after this.
No way.
Somebody about to throw that man a bag. He gonna change his residence. He might as well tell his wife, get ready to put the house up for sale.
Because they getting ready to move. Coach too, I think.
Exactly. So with new teams and new personnel, it's essential that you take that into account. But also the other thing you got to take into account, people do this stuff all the time. I say this every year to everybody. You cannot go off of what you did last year.
Right.
What a team was last year. You can't go off that. Everybody loves to say, oh, if I could go back to y'all schedule for a second. First thing folks will look at and they'll say, oh, Valley, they were sorry last year. They only won one game. Or Pine Bluff, man, they was 3-9. And they lost their quarterback, who is kind of funny. Their quarterback is on our squad.
He's on y'all squad.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Anyway.
But the thing is, though, as you look through all of this, and I'll even go to Southern, we look at Southern schedule. You look at all this stuff. It's like what you did last year. You can't go back and really expect all that same stuff to occur.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Southern last year, their defense bailed them out of a lot of games. This year it may be the other way. Maybe it's the offense is better. You can't say the same stuff every single year. But one thing that is very apparent with all these games and all these schedules that we have is that you need to really, really get out of the gate solid. Because how this works. If you don't get out of the gate quickly, the fan base will turn on your behind like that.
They will.
It's over with.
Thanks.
It's over with. If y'all, let's say y'all get out the gate slow, man, how many folk gonna be ready to get rid of Cozy? And he just in his second year. You know what I'm saying? Look,
the whispers have already started.
Yeah,
they started after Valley.
And look here. I'm gonna go to a guy who definitely is on the hot seat here. Right here, Raymond Woody. Raymond Woody is the one coach in the SWAC that is absolutely going to get fired if they don't show any progress. And looking at this schedule, there is no possible way I can see other than Edward Waters. But there is no possible way I can see anything that says that these guys are going to be able to be successful.
It's not even the schedule for me. It's what he did in recruiting. It hasn't been enough.
It's not there.
Hasn't been enough.
It's not there.
It hasn't been enough.
It's not there. Now, one thing that he does have, now you gotta develop it. You got two pieces. You got Cam Ransom and you got Dennis Palmer.
And I like Cam Ransom.
I told everybody, I said, Dennis Palmer, to me, as a freshman, if they were a better team, that guy is first team all SWAC.
I agree.
That guy, no disrespect to Irv, because Irv was great. But Dennis Palmer was a
and
dog.
The one that left, he just left. The running back that just left ran all over us. What is his name?
That's what I'm talking about. Palmer.
Oh, well, he's gone.
Yeah, well, he was the guy. He was the guy. Gone. Now that he's gone, what do you have now?
Yeah, he's gone.
Like that guy, that was your guy.
Yeah, they stuck with they got Ram. That's what I'm saying. And they haven't brought enough of anything to do anything. He's gone. I think the writers on him. I think he knows he's gone. He's gone. And I think Eddie Robinson his seat is a little warm too.
Yeah, let's go look at their schedule here.
Yeah, I think Eddie Rob last year they They lost to Miles.
Yeah, 2 years ago they lost to Miles.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
don't.
you're right, Paris. You're right. Yeah, Dennis is gone. Yeah, Dennis is gone.
Yeah.
So Palmer, he was a dog, and now he's gone. But yeah, Alabama State, yeah, man, they lost a lot too. They lost a lot of guys, and remember, they didn't have a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. And they ain't replacing. I mean, well, he's still there, but I you know, man,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about the kid. I really like him, but I just don't see it.
Yeah,
I just
but
don't see it.
you know, they lost a lot of guys. They lost some
did.
guys off that defense.
And
They also,
their coordinator.
Yeah, lost a coordinator, and they
To
also
UAB.
lost their first team center. Their best offensive lineman, Aurelius Dunn, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. But one thing I will give Coach Rob, though. Coach Rob defensively finds a way to get those boys to play. His problem has never been on defense.
Yeah, but your coordinator's gone.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
But the problem for him has been offense.
Always, yeah.
Always. So, you know, but this schedule right here, woo,
I think he struggles on both sides this year.
Yeah, this schedule right here, this is a pretty stacked schedule as well. And they got to go to Jackson, and they got to go to y'all.
Because they don't have a break. Miles proved to be now Shamshade, of course, is gone, but Tuskegee and none of they don't have a cupcake on there. They just don't. They really don't get a break. They open up the season with UAB.
Yeah,
then
you know how that is.
Yeah, that's the money game. Go ahead and get your money. And get
Listen,
out safe.
even though Trent Dilfer is terrible,
he's horrible. He's horrible.
Yeah,
he on the hot seat too.
He is. Oh, he definitely getting fired.
He wiping his butt with ice cream balls too. He is on the hot seat 100%.
Look at Paris said we want revenge. I know what you talking about. You talking about 10-11, y'all homecoming game. That's what y'all want, that revenge. Because last time they came there, they beat y'all there on y'all homecoming. Mm-hmm.
That was funny to me.
Because it was
the only reason it was funny because you remember Eddie Rob said schedule. He wanted them back. He said schedule me, please schedule me.
Yeah,
they sure did, and Eddie Rob went there and beat them.
Yeah. And you know something? That game last year when they played in Montgomery, that was as physical of a game.
Yeah. It was a fight to the death.
It was so physical.
It was a good game. It was
an awesome game. It was an awesome game. Absolutely. I mean, Alabama State had no offense whatsoever except
they couldn't score the ball.
One touchdown run. That was it. But their defense kept them boys in the game the whole way. But yeah, Alabama State, we'll see what happens. She said, "Keep the fighting in Alabama." Yeah.
The fighting go wherever them Tigers go. The fighting goes where the Tigers go. Okay, so then it don't matter wherever the Tigers at. That's where the fight gonna be at. The basketball team fight, the football team, the baseball team.
Right.
Let's not start it. Okay.
Yeah, man. Now, lastly, I wanna end this. I want to talk about Grambling real quick. Now, I work at Ohio State. I just want to say, if you come to Columbus, make sure you come. Make sure you eat you a good meal. If y'all want some referrals about what you can eat here in Columbus, I'll tell you what you can eat in Columbus. Other than that, yeah. Hope you enjoy watching their band at halftime just as much as yours.
Yeah, that's gonna be so ugly.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
Ugly. It's gonna be so ugly.
And also, Ohio State plays Texas the week before in the opener. Now, if they mess around and lose to Texas,
it's gonna be even ugly.
And they got to turn around and play. Oh my Lord!
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be pretty bad. I just want them to get out healthy. Everybody get out safely. I'm glad they got Kentucky State the next week.
Yeah, Kentucky State the next week is how you can get healthy.
Yeah,
you can get healthy. And East Texas A&M, they beat them last year. in overtime.
Yeah.
And they and you know, so it's something about these guys, man. I know Mickey Joseph, they had a little bit of a turbulent offseason as well. You know, he made some confessions about, you know, players weren't committed. He talked about some players talk about coaches on the staff. He called them out too.
He did. He was calling everybody out. They
He's
in
calling
shambles a
everybody
little bit
out.
over there. They want the AD out. It's going on at Graham.
Yeah, and
I
this
don't see it
schedule,
though. I don't see it. I didn't see it in the recruiting this year for Graham either. I don't see it.
yeah, and this schedule ain't doing them no favors.
It sure ain't.
It ain't doing them no favors. You know, they do get some home games, but you know, it's that game. Shout out to my boy G, you know, down there, Alcorn. You know, every time they hook up with Alcorn, that's always personal.
Yeah.
You know,
but they got to go to the reservation this time.
Yep, they gotta go to the reservation.
Yeah.
You know, and
different.
And Alcorn is beating them at the gun 2 years in a row. Remember last year?
With the kick. Noah with the kick.
Noah with the kick at the gun. Yeah, man. But yeah, Mickey Joseph, he definitely he got to prove something this year.
He sure do.
He got to prove something this year. You know, people down there in Grambling, shout out to y'all. I know y'all are proud people. Y'all talk a lot. Y'all back that team up. Y'all be with them. And y'all definitely let them know when you ain't happy either. That's the thing I respect about their fans. They sure enough will get on Facebook and tell you how they really feel about them when they ain't playing well. They ain't no pretenders.
No, they're not. They will surely say it. They sure will.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, they will. So, you know, football season is gonna be coming. It's gonna be going up.
Excited.
Yeah. But before we get there, you know, we got SWAC Media Day coming up July 16th. I'm looking forward to being there. I'm gonna definitely get some good content and get some good times, talk to some people. Gonna definitely look forward to seeing, like, you know, what the preseason all SWAC teams look like. Again, you know, it's something that people kind of get all in on. They get a little overly excited.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that they need to remember is the coaches are the ones that do all of that. Do the picks.
The picking for that, they voted for it.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that, it may come with a little bit of favoritism, a little bit of slanting, a little bit of that. A little bit of that.
Absolutely.
You know, but I'm excited about things, and you know, I'm excited about, you know, what we got coming forward. So, Tache, this was really, really fun. I hope you had fun.
I had a great time. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I wanted to come out here and do a ride and just show everybody, you know, show my face, because, you know, some folks was like, "Where you been? Where you been, Wild Wayne?" Hey, you know, it was track season.
Yeah.
You know, I had to do a lot of officiating, and also, you know, let's just keep it real. This is kind of the dead period where things aren't going on.
Nothing to talk about. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Folks love to just create shows, You know, I'm not down with creating shows just to create shows. But tonight, we had some good stuff to talk about.
We did.
Now, make sure y'all like the stream and make sure that y'all hit Tache up. Nah, she, you know, she
I've been nice. Don't stop, Wade. I've been nice.
You've been nice. You've been nice. And I tell you what, before the season starts, you know, we definitely will have to get back together again. I'll get you back on here as we get closer to the season. Then I will put you on the spot and you will make some predictions. Not just about your Rattlers, but you also gonna make some predictions about some other teams also.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all. As always, it's the ride.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us on the ride with Wild Wayne Cartwright. As you exit the ride, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit the like button, and catch up on all of our prior episodes. Until next time, God bless.